Welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. You are listening to a podcast by Pastor Eric Deepen and Pastor Andy Littleton. If you enjoy Faith Over Breakfast, we encourage you to rate it on the Apple Podcast app, on Spotify, or Google Play. Thank you and enjoy the podcast. Welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. My name is Eric and I'm pastor of the Village Church, and across from me is Andy Littleton, pastor of the Mission.
Mission.
It's Mission Church.
Don't
yes.
put a the. People put a the, or they put an S at the end of mission.
Missions Church.
It's not the mission. It's not. We are doing multiple missions.
That's right. Well, yeah. Anyway, you're a pastor of a church called Mission.
That's the one.
In Tucson.
That's the one. And I love all of you who say it wrong, but I still have to bring it up because we got to.
Well, and we
establish the name.
We can just meander along in this conversation.
I mean, you're not the Villages.
We are not the Villages. But that would be funny if we were.
Yeah.
The Villages.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to do a podcast.
We did a podcast. You'll enjoy it. We kind of meander around.
I think the bulk of it ended up being, or one of the most impactful pieces was discussion about the rich young ruler, the things we don't want to walk away from, giving to things and people when you're out of control as to what they do with it. That's good. That was good.
It was good. And I just want to say, like, this is Faith Over Breakfast. This was a classic experience of me sitting down with another pastor. And if when I went home, my wife would say, "What did you guys talk about?" And I'd be like, "Well,
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure." Like, if the rich young ruler was in there, we talked about this, we talked about that. That's what it is. It's just kind of a refreshing, meandering conversation.
It's a true Faith Over Breakfast. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a yelling person on the podcast? Is that why that volume was so?
No,
probably. Right?
I don't know why it was.
Well,
Rod yells a lot. He was on the podcast.
That makes sense. Well,
hi Andy.
Hey,
it's been a while. 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So long. And you want to talk about some things. I don't even know what they are.
I just want to talk about the essence of Faith Over Breakfast, which is
the essence,
which is just you and me happily chatting away about life.
Okay. There you go. The essence.
First, we can start out with your complaint that I didn't fix you breakfast.
Yeah.
That's not. I didn't know that was an expectation.
I mean,
I just got here, so
it's not, but I could still complain about it.
That's true.
Yeah. People complain about things that aren't expectations all the time.
This is true.
Why not me?
There you go. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's more that I got up earlier to do some sermon work because, meetings yesterday, every one of them went about 30 minutes longer than I'd anticipated.
Gotcha. Those are always.
And so you add up 3 to 4 of those, and there goes some of your sermon time. So I woke up this morning and did that. And on my way over here, I went, I didn't eat anything.
So this is going to be a Hungry Andy podcast.
Hungry Andy podcast.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Andy. We can kick off the podcast this way. We'll see if you want to answer it. Here's the question. You can change one thing, either your church or your life. And when you wake up in the morning, how will you know it the next day? How will you know it's been changed? What will be the evidence?
So my 2 categories are my church or my entire life.
Yeah, whatever you want to choose. Yeah, you're I don't know. I mean, I'd pick something. Let's start with your church. If you could change one thing.
One thing.
About your church.
About my church.
Oh. Mission Church. Here you go, guys. I'll answer it too. I'm willing to answer it. Let's go. Let's go. When we do our discipleship model, the hot seat, sometimes we talk about there are issues from 1 to 10. Issues 1 and 2 are so light and they don't really matter that you don't want to really work them through the process. Issues 3 through 6, those are hot seat model things that you can work through. But then there's, 7 through 10. That's more
beyond.
You don't want
this is check into a facility for a couple years. We'll
or
see how it
just
goes.
something to sit with your pastor, or more
Okay.
intentional space to work through. So it doesn't have to be the 7 through 10 issue you wish.
Okay.
Maybe just an easy, like you could be like, well, I'd like better lighting, and I would know when I showed up on Sunday that I could see.
Yeah. Okay. I would like one benevolent outside donor that just dropped $5,000 a month in the bank account.
I like that. No, that's and
Yeah.
it's good. Now, if you woke up, how would you immediately sense the difference? Like, what would be some of the evidences of that difference?
Well, there'd be a number of evidences.
Well,
of
yeah.
that different. Yeah.
It'd be different at your church than mine. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even just this week, I was thinking, we've really got to do something about the garbage. We've got the little cans and too much, but to upgrade to a dumpster we're gonna have to make some changes. We can't afford those, so we keep having too much trash. And I used to own a truck. I could throw that in the back of and haul it off every once in a while. I don't anymore.
So do you have 1 or 2 garbage cans?
We have 2.
And that's
2 churches meet in our building.
Oh, right. That's a lot of.
It's not enough.
No.
And even to make matters worse, if they could get any worse here, the city had left the previous people's can and gave us 2 more when we took occupancy.
Gotcha.
And we didn't think about this. This was not a grand plan of ours, but they were picking up the 2 and 2 recycles every week. When we reached out about what are our new options, the person that came by went, wait a second, we only had you down for 1 of each can. So we'd been paying less. We are now paying the equivalent that we would pay for a dumpster to have these 4 cans, 2 recycle, 2 regular.
How much do you guys pay?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Because we pay like $150 for the whole thing.
That's probably in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You could have a small dumpster for that. From what we have gathered.
Okay.
That would hold more than the 2 cans.
Gotcha.
But you wouldn't have this problem looking at your property. For us, for it to go out on the street we don't have a spot for it.
Well, our neighbors would not appreciate it.
Our neighbors wouldn't either. So the ideal would be to put it on the back of our property. But the back of our property is a city road that doesn't go all the way through. And there are power lines in the area. So we have to do architecture type, design work and negotiate with them to assure the city that their truck could get the thing and turn around. Right now they say we can't turn around. We don't have room.
Makes sense.
So we'd have to modify the fence, but that's the better place for it.
Interesting. All right. So
if I had $5,000 a month,
there you go. That would be that's a
that would be
noticeable thing.
One thing I could go. You know what? Considering we're in a surplus of $5,000 a month, I think we can go ahead and get this design work figured out. But when you don't have money, you look at that whole situation and go,
Yeah.
Or there could be. That's one of hundreds of various things that come across that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's
you could pay another person or a person more, of course. And that would all be very nice.
Yes. Yeah. These are the benevolent donor who donates $5,000 a month.
And I say this benevolent donor because I'm saying someone that doesn't, not that they would go away.
But doesn't have any expectations. It's going to drop $60,000 a year on your
I love
church.
you guys. I see you have you're not a highly funded ministry, and I'm just going to help you out.
I'm going to help you out. Yeah. No, I would that would be something that would be nice. I could say that would be a thing that I would like.
Yeah. This gets into your whole church planting is dead thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're saying there are these smaller churches that run on a shoestring, and you go dump tens of thousands into church plants when those churches could use the benevolent donor.
Yeah. No, that's a interesting thing. So I really like this exercise, in particular in my personal life.
Okay.
Like if I could change one thing, like in my marriage, or I could change one thing in my way I live my life, and it would just be completely changed.
Uh-huh.
When I woke up the next day, how would I know? Like, what are the evidences of this change?
Right.
And it's really interesting because it begins to help think about, what do you actually really want?
Right.
What are you looking for?
And apparently I just want money, Eric.
No. I mean, when you start looking at the
uncomfortable
results,
with that. Yeah,
that's what you begin to think about.
It's not that you want money, but you want to be able to solve problems.
You want
that's what I'm saying
for your community's functioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Okay. Your turn.
My turn. Well, you got me thinking about $5,000 a month. I was like, oh.
I mean, I could have. Look,
hey,
if it were 10,000,
yeah,
that would also work out.
No.
I don't want to limit things here. It's just a number that came to mind.
No, hey, that's what came to mind. I think of my church. I think if there's one thing that I could change, that I then would. That's really hard, because I could go the monetary route, and that would be really helpful, and that would remove a lot of stress, and I could quickly see the evidences of that.
Right.
But I think, and this is probably not something anyone can change, but it's the feeling of like not knowing.
Oh.
I think that there, like the experience of not knowing, like that exists in so many different areas of your life. Like not knowing fully what's going on with people, not knowing who's showing up on Sunday, not knowing.
Oh yeah, what are we going to face today? What's this going to look like?
Yeah, and I think if I woke up,
have a room full of people, or is this the day when 20 decide to walk in the door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what question am I going to get, or what thing is someone going to struggle with? Yeah, I think that not knowing, if I could just know, and I know that's a big one.
Is it going to be one of those relaxing, fun Sundays, or is it going to be one of those chaos Sundays?
Yeah. There's a lot of uncertainty built into life in general, but into ministry. So,
and if that were gone,
yeah.
I mean, I can imagine, but you'd wake up certain. Or what would be the difference?
I would wake up feeling like I didn't have to. I don't know. I feel less anxious. I think I feel less like I needed to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't want to have to feel like I need to figure it out, which could be betraying a lot of my issues. But
there you go.
But yeah, I mean, I think probably the most. I like if someone benevolently offered that money, that would mean, yes, I can hire a part-time administrator,
right.
Or I could hire a full-time youth leader, or I could, help support the existing staff that's working underpaid, or we could get a parking lot,
right?
Or,
right.
Any number of those kinds of things would be nice. And
yeah.
But what I've learned about, like, even just growing older, and when it comes to finances, is it doesn't really matter how much money you have. Yes, money does relieve certain anxieties and stresses, but the more money you have, the more problems it causes.
Well, there was once a rapper named the Notorious B.I.G., and he wrote a whole song about this.
Yeah.
Mo money.
Mo
problems.
Mo problems.
Yeah. And so, Eric, this wisdom goes way back. Yeah. And of course, right, if you had the more money, chances are, knowing how people work, you would then spend that money and still be in need of mo. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a question. I like asking that about the institution.
Do you think that if you got your thing where you didn't have to solve the problems, would you go and create problems for yourself?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, like half the problems are probably my own problems.
Yeah.
I created.
Would you go invent them?
Yeah.
So that you'd have something meaningful to do.
Yeah. There's this element of that I think probably exists.
Like you want to do this podcast. I mean, this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this is a problem.
It is a problem because you're my problem.
Yeah. I block all kinds of your goals.
You do.
And I tell you I want topics, and that's a problem.
That is a problem.
And you have to set up the studio, and that's a problem.
Me about the topics like, an hour beforehand. And I thought we were a topicless podcast. It was just faith over breakfast.
See, the problems are abounding here.
Abound here.
But you want to do this. Yeah. I've given you opportunities to get out of it.
Yeah, but then you didn't want to get out of it.
I don't know what I want. Yeah.
You want to spend time with me.
Yeah.
So here it is. This is what I got.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's some. I think you and I have kind of gotten tired. And not just tired about the podcast, tired in life in general.
Sure.
And just like there's been a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I sat in your elder meeting and I was like, oh, this is a lot, guys. You guys have walked through a lot over the last 5 years. It's been a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think that's similar at the Village. And Sue and I have been talking a lot about this. I really kind of downplayed the effects of COVID on my own life, at least. I might project it out onto other people's social structures, but I think I think COVID just changed everything. And forget the politics.
Yeah.
Like just throw those out and throw out all of the race stuff that happened during that period. Just COVID and the isolation and the disease itself created just a lot of weird, just lack of motivation or tiredness or not wanting to be socially engaged or not feeling socially capable or just feeling like maybe a little bit more existentially angsty, and so maybe just an underlying, the more I talk to people, there's sort of this underlying burnout that everyone is feeling and not really sure why. Why am I burnt out?
Yeah, I don't know if I put that on COVID or not.
No, I didn't either.
I think
it's my most recent thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I've said I am
not wrong. That's correct.
I've become very interested in the 60s because, and I think I've mentioned this on here before, several people during the COVID era, I don't even know what it is yet. We're probably still in it. I heard a lot of references from older people about the 60s. And I kept going, what's this about? And they were kind of saying, we've seen this before. No way. We're not doing that. And I thought, there was no pandemic in the 60s.
Right.
But it was a time of serious unrest. And I think there was some technology to it. I mean, the things that you are now able to see on television that you didn't used to get to see.
Yeah.
So I'm reading a book. I've read a couple. I'm reading another one on this era, on the 60s. And just, I've been thinking a little bit about the parallels. And there are many. But I think that the 2020 and forward era is the one that the books are going to be written about later and the movies are going to be made about later, and there'll be a lot of unpacking of it.
Yeah.
We're just in one of those times, and it is strenuous and complicated. It just is. There's probably another 70s and 80s ahead of us or something, a different version of it, right? But we're in the turbulent one. We just are.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot, I feel like, with news and with the internet and with AI and all those kinds of things. There's just so much stuff coming at us and so much information.
Oh, yeah.
And I had put on our, like, here's a subject,
Uh-huh.
insight versus AI. And I think we are becoming a much more, quote unquote, knowledgeable culture
Yeah, I
and
don't
a
know about that.
less wise culture.
Yeah, and by knowledge it'd be information, but we have surface level information.
Sure.
We don't have deep information.
Sure.
Yeah.
And maybe I spend more of my time around people who are much more academically minded, but they have more access to information and are accessing it at deeper levels.
Well, you
in
can
a
access
high speed.
You can access in-depth information, but I mean, I'll tell you how I feel when it comes to all this, whether it's politics or the new research out on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm entirely overwhelmed. There's so much I can find and figure out that it makes me want to not find any of it or figure it out anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's so stinking much of it.
There's a lot of it.
Like, what's going on in politics? I don't know. I can find out all 5 million things that happened yesterday if I want, if I try hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, there's going to be what breakthrough in science happened yesterday. What 5,000 breakthroughs were there that I'm supposed to know about and how they impact everything. Yeah. And the new, relational, strategy. There's 20,000 articles on that came out yesterday.
Right.
And the new religious movement, by the way, and, why all the men are going to whatever church they're going to this week. There's all sorts of new articles on that. Mm-hmm. Why all the women are mad about it again. And it's all, yeah.
So what do you do with all that? Like, what is the role of, like, how do we live a godly, honest life in this culture? Because this is the time of which we were born for.
Yeah. And I'm not I'm not advocating for removal entirely. I think there's a participation that is required.
Okay.
But I think I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, I find myself, I pick little things to engage with every once in a while. I think, yeah, that was probably fine. Other times I go, well, what was the point?
Right.
And yeah, I find myself just going, I'm experiencing it. Burnout's a decent word for it. It's not like I'm burned out by my church necessarily,
right.
Or it's just burned out by what it means to try to contribute to this thing. Just like, I don't know.
Right. So, and I think there's a lot of information creates this crippling effect. So we can talk about one of the more tragic things that happened in the last week. The flooding of in Texas, in central Texas, and the Camp Mystic and all that, and the death of 27 children plus, and all that. That's like really tragic.
Yes.
And it's all over the news. And at the same time, because I feel like I'm bombarded by this all over the place, I have this callousness to the whole thing. And I wonder, would I have had that in the early 80s when it was just on the evening news and in a newspaper? Right. And what would I have like people are going, people are moved and engaging and helping, and that's not
it's not a net negative, but I mean, I will tell you, like, that. So here's this morning, my wife, I've got my coffee. I'm trying to change clothes to work on my sermon, which I didn't get to because of.
So let's just pause here, guys. He has a sermon prepping outfit that he wears.
Yes.
So
I'm in it right now. Isn't it incredible?
Blue cap and blue shirt.
This is my Andy Littleton standard outfit. Is every piece is a different shade of blue.
Okay.
It drives people crazy. I've decided I like it. Just different
shades of
blue. Yeah.
Your autobiography will be Shades of Blue.
Shades of Blue. There it is. Done. So yeah, what's the status with Israel and Iran and how I feel about any of that? I don't know. That feels like it was so last week. The floods in Texas, and what popped up on my feed this morning when I opened it for whatever reason was that Camp Mystic was poorly designed, and they built things in the floodplain knowingly. So all of a sudden I felt really terrible for them, and now I'm feeling like, oh no, injustice occurred here. They built in the floodplain. So that's all. But then there's all these little girls that are gone, and the terrible stuff. And so that's all. I actually did see that this morning, right? Probably shouldn't have opened my phone, but I did. And then, Trump's doing something wild. There's always something, and somebody else is doing something.
He's smacking down Aruba with tariffs.
Yeah, Tucson politics are a thing. Somebody asked me, how are you feeling about the local election? And I'm like, oh no, I want to be all about local elections. I haven't even engaged with it, if I'm totally honest. Mm-hmm. And then I'm grabbing my shirt, and my wife says, can I tell you a story? And tells me about this little girl who died in a random accident. And I was just like, I had 5 minutes to get out the door, and I already have all this in my head. Mm-hmm. And I even told her, I said, I am so sorry, and I'm ashamed of this, but I don't even know what to do with the story you just told me right now while I was just trying to, get my clothes on so I could do something. There's too much information. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not just all online. It's just, we all have access. Now, normally she heard that in a personal conversation back in the day at some point. That would have been the only thing we'd heard about. And we would have sat there and talked about that.
And it would have moved around the community.
Yeah.
By word of mouth.
Yeah. And it would have not been in this flood. So I think, I heard Bonnie Christian had said something in a webinar I was in, and I thought I just resonated with it. She said it's so stinking unfair that the app that I got for looking at really cool pictures once, when I go on it still, because I still think I like to see cool pictures, it hits me with horrendous news out of nowhere that I didn't sign up for. Right. That is awful.
Right.
And, that was what these apps were, right? Once. It was going to be, I can see what my friends are up to.
Right.
And now they wallop us with news and crap we want to buy.
Right.
And I'm still not off them, partially because if you want to sell a book, you're supposed to be engaged.
Yeah.
And it makes me annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. Yeah.
Yeah, but because of the technology that exists now, you have published books.
Right. Yeah.
40 years ago, you probably would not have published a book.
It would have been inaccessible to me.
Yes.
Yeah. No, there's that too, right? Like
that's crazy.
That's the tension is. There are potentials that are at least enjoyable, sometimes good. That if it was just this is the online world is just the demonic realm and it's just all bad. Well, great. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's the trouble.
Yeah.
It's not all bad.
Right.
Be nice if it were that clear. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that we believe that in the past everything was choices were much more simple and clear, and we can
glorify the past,
and there's been probably some of that because we are in an information glut. But I do think the people are trying now to just live in a smaller world. Everyone's trying, but not everyone. Some of us are trying.
There's a movement to do that.
Yeah,
and I think I sort of partake in that sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
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 But even then it's really not.
Yeah,
you go flip phone, you get the little thing that you can stick on your phone to make it act like a flip phone. You're still participating.
Here's the thing, to go back to the beginning question, and I think it can connect this. I really had to change something about my church, and I would argue then every community of God that I've been part of, is that I would change the disconnect between people. As a pastor, I sit and I listen to people talk. And my funniest thing is to sit with someone who will be talking, especially with news and politics, and they're going on one thing. And then I go another hour with someone else who is telling me as passionately the absolute opposite story. And I'm like, I am just listening, and I kind of affirm the story without, when I'm trying to be a pastor in the midst of all of that and help them sort out their belief systems and their things and help them focus on God. And I think the thing that changes, I just like the conversation to be much more about Jesus and less about what's happening in the world.
Sure. Yeah.
And not necessarily that we don't talk about what's happening in the world, but only in the context of what Jesus is doing.
I've become disillusioned in this department, if I'm totally honest.
Your department? There's a department.
No, this department.
Okay.
Meaning, when I was church planting, believed more than I do right now that the Jesus story and the being the church could supersede that. And that people could move toward each other because of their faith. And right now I hold that as, I think I am not ready to let go of that, nor do I think I should, but I am struggling with believing it works, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
That I'm starting to go, no, these other things are more powerful, it feels like. And I long to be proved wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can prove you wrong, but something that struck me, because we are now in our Books of the Bible series, which we do every summer. This is our last year. We're going to finish. We're going to be done. We will have summarized every book of the Bible.
Okay.
By the Village. And I had 2 Peter. And there's a thing that struck me, and I have been pondering this. I preached on it a little bit in the summary. I don't feel like I did the greatest job in that. I spent some time writing a little bit of thing to our leaders. But let me just read it to you, because this is so... He talks about, it's chapter 1, and 1 through 4 is really him emphasizing that we share the same faith that he does. We share in the divine, the precious, thing. And then he says, for this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. For if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of Jesus Christ. And then he says, so it's all the way down to verse 9, but whoever does not have them is nearsighted and blind, forgetting that they have been cleansed from their past sins. Now, what's really fascinating is that when you start looking at the language, every effort is a much more a calisthenic style word, like a bending of yourself. And then add is the word that they use to talk about a complete Greek chorus, like the whole full symphony or a harmonization. Like, so you're going to harmonize these things with your faith. But he's also stealing from the Stoic, virtue ladder. So you work your way up. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, that's not really the thing that I care that much about. Right. I'm not like, hey, because I participate in the divine nature, what I need to be is creating this symphony connected to my faith that requires a discipline where I am like the bed, like he starts with goodness, but the word is where we get virtue from. Or some places, courage it'll be translated that. It's like fertile courage, like a place where things can grow, and you courageously do that.
Okay.
But you're building that, and I was like, I don't think that's not that, as Rod would say, that's not that sexy, right. And it's like, actually, there are two kinds of streams that I catch with people and with myself. One is we need to be more loving people So let's work on our love. And Peter's like, well, no, the harmony actually begins with you having a ground that can be able to change and grow. And then the other one is, no, let's forget all of those and just be about justice.
Sure.
And, or, just about kind of our own sounding board. And anyway, all I'm trying to say here is like, I really, in thinking about all of these things and all the chaos, really want to just kind of bring myself down to, well, what is it that I'm actually adding to my faith? Like, how does the story of Jesus supersede all of these things? Yeah. Well, it certainly doesn't supersede it if I'm trying to show it as some kind of moral narrative that's better than all the other narratives. Or that it has a particular political alignment that makes it better, or et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. And so I've just been trying to ponder, because there's a nearsightedness when I'm not doing that. And that nearsightedness produces kind of the chaos that I experience in life.
Yeah.
And I think Peter's argument is, if we can build this harmony, and I think it's a harmony that happens in community together, that we add this to our faith, then we become a people who are closer to Jesus, and that's the transformative story. And I think the more I experience things chaotically and trying to just scramble for solid ground is because I'm trying to fix it all the time. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to not be surprised. Not, the thing I want to change is I need to know, right? So that I'll be ready to say the right thing, or be prepared for the problem that's coming, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, here this is one of many things that makes me go like, I'm not to disagree with you, but this is like the gut level response where I go, this is another struggle in our world. To become this way almost feels like you'd have to do nothing else.
Yeah. Well, and I think
and that, I'm just saying, that feels like a really hard sell. I'm not saying it's wrong.
No, and I think that, like, I think I wrote it in some article, the many things I've written recent. But I really was struck by how, when I used to read The Rich Young Ruler, I was like, oh, this is definitely about wealth.
Right.
And when I realized that is me, that is our culture, that is our churches. We are the rich young ruler. We're like, yes, we're doing the right things. We're doing them.
And then there's this thing that you'd have to release.
And we're just like, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of...
Very sad right now, yeah.
What I run into my life, and when I run into that's what I run into other people's lives.
And the list is, I mean, actually the wealth one does come up a lot, but it's a lot of other things. Mm-hmm. It could be, I don't want to let go of my anger. I don't want to let go of that relationship. I don't want to let go of this value of mine that drives my life. I want
to let go of my time. I don't want to let go of
my leisure. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a big one in our culture.
It's huge in our culture right now. And I am not saying this as a critic. I'm saying this as someone who gets. That would be and that's a COVID. That is a COVID accelerated thing. Is the desire for leisure and activity that is not work.
Yeah, that's big.
I think that got accelerated by the COVID time.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just seeing, just a note on that, I saw a video made by a local coffee shop that they were saying the thing that as a business it's maybe easier to say than a church, but they were, and I was laughing because I wonder if a church-informed person helped make the video, because it was saying when it gets hot in Tucson, all of these people, leave, and then these words come up and it says, but some are left behind. But it was the
awesome.
lonely employees of the coffee shop who have no one to talk to,
Right,
and they've
serve
been left
coffee
behind.
too. Oh, that's
And
great.
I was like, this person who made this video might have experienced dispensationalism.
No, it's pretty
But
hilarious.
but I thought this is the coffee shop saying what the churches are saying too, which is like everybody's off exploring, and our business is struggling.
Yeah.
If you're a person who's not off somewhere else, then what?
Right.
And I think there's a lot of, I think people at Mission would even say that in relationship to my month of May, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I don't know, where's Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it invites us to give up a lot.
Right.
And it is connected. I think, physical activity, prepping to do physical things is a good analogy or a good connection to faith and to these things. Certain results happen,
Right.
when you are willing to practice.
Yeah, and but if you're going to train to run the marathon, you have to
Give up some stuff.
do some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is it such a tough sell? It's an easy sell for the marathon, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really strenuous, but people are doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to get their finances in order, or they're going to do something. But like, why is it in the rich young ruler's case and in ours such a tough sell? Is it just that we struggle to believe that the kingdom of God is really there?
I think that, and I think there's this. We struggle to believe, and since it's a risk, and autonomy is the thing he had to give up.
Yeah.
Like all the other things he could control, but to follow Jesus means that he's not in control.
Right.
And I feel like Jesus is good, but he's not safe at all. And I think he invites me into things a lot that I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
How much of it with the rich young ruler do you think was the fact that not only did he have to give the money, but he had to give it to the poor?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just thinking
That's
about
a good question.
it wasn't, Jesus didn't say, bring your proceeds to us, to the disciples.
Right.
I wonder if he would have, I know it's a parable, but I'm just saying maybe that would have been the thing where he's like, yeah, this is going to be for the good cause. But Jesus says, go give it to people that maybe not even use it well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if that's a piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you don't get to have any say.
You don't get to have any say. It's in their hands now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's when you have, so let's say you have a church, and a church that deeply cares about the poverty within it. And so that means that you have different wealth structures within your church. Right. And James addresses this in chapter 1 about how you should understand the gospel versus, rich or poor. But at the same time, as money is given to, or resources are given to poor people, what I tend to hear from other people in many different settings is, well, but they just spent it on going to see a movie, right?
Yeah.
Or they spent it on leisure.
Yes.
But the reality to me is the thing that surprised me is the only people who get to have leisure are the people who have money.
And then it's okay because I've earned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. And so if you go on a two-week vacation as a wealthy person, that's totally reasonable. But if someone who's impoverished gets a gift and goes on vacation,
you're like, well, they could have paid their rent with that. Yeah. And there's this thing about it's interesting. We live in
There's a few dynamics there. That is interesting. I hadn't thought about that angle of it. And I would relate. I would feel the same tension, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I gave from my surplus and somebody was like, oh, good, I'm going to go sit at the Hilton and not pay my bills, I'd be like, oh, that would be hard. So I feel that, but you're bringing up a good point. Why is it that the gift of leisure comes to me because I have the means and you can't have it.
Yeah.
But the other piece is when Jesus says, if you've done this to the least of these, my brothers, you've done it unto me. I think that's an important piece of a Christian theology of giving and caring for, is that changes the dynamic where you're not giving based on the success of the gift to solve the person's problem.
Mm-hmm.
God has everything he needs. He doesn't need your gift, doesn't even really need your worship. He's got it. The heavenly hosts. He doesn't need it.
He desires it though.
It's good and right. But to aim love and care to another person is what God has called us to do as our act of worship and loving him.
Mm-hmm.
And that should change the dynamic where it's not about what they do with it. It's not about their, it's wonderful when it works, when you give something to somebody and they put it in a high yield savings account and wait. Wonderful. That's good. But we shouldn't give contingent upon that because the gift is to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his framing of it that way is important. And we just talked about this with some of our deacons. We will serve people who are dealing with whether it's poverty or challenges. Expect that frustration. Expect it. But also we must do it because it's what Jesus has asked us to do for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I think obviously in community, we're there to help the whole person. But what's fascinating is if you look at the early church, people are selling their homes. Everyone's being provided for. There's a bit more of a communal experience and probably like less of you can move out of poverty much easier, right, than you can now in a lot of ways.
So, yeah.
You don't have the same issues. In some ways, your life expectancy is different, but
you don't have the digital track record of your debt problems.
Yeah, and you're given a denarii and it lasts you a month,
right?
And it helps you do a lot of things with it.
And it was harder to spend it, by the way.
Right. And
now it's very easy to spend it.
Yes. So, but here's what I'm curious about is that I think there are two things. God blesses people with wealth. And they shouldn't be ashamed of that, and they should be able to use that wealth to enjoy a nice vacation, a home that's not falling, all those apart, all those good things. But at the same time, there is an expectation on them, I think, to look around at their brothers and sisters in Christ and say, I actually have to help them in a way that's going to help move them, and what do I have to help do that? Because I think a lot of times we look, even like pastors, we look at pastors, and a lot of you don't make that much money. A lot of pastors don't. Some do. Yeah. But a good chunk of them don't make a lot of money.
Right.
And there are people in their congregations who do make a lot of money. And I would say it's incumbent on those pastors or those people in that community to say, you know what, I am tasked with caring for this pastor. I'm tasked with making sure that they can feed their kids and provide for their family more maybe than say someone else here who has a lot less money than I do.
Right.
And I think that I'm not trying to pitch for hey, rich people at the village or whatever. I'm not or that that giver that you wanted in the beginning. Where are you? I'm just saying I don't think about my money that way. I'm not thinking, okay, I've been given this chunk of money, and how am I using it to care for my community and for the people around me? I think about it somewhat because I'm a pastor, but it wasn't drilled into me in discipleship.
Right.
To look around and say, what's my role in this person's life? How do I care for them and make sure that they're okay? How is my church providing for everyone in this community? like we're not connected that way, and like most of us don't even know each other's finances,
right?
And and not too long ago it was very taboo to even talk about your finances with anybody,
right? I think it still is.
Yeah, it is.
Or it used to be more taboo to talk about not having means. You tried to pretend like you do. Now I feel like it's less taboo to admit that than it is to, it's more taboo to admit that you're doing okay. That's, yeah. Does that mean we're done?
Yeah, I'll call her back. Sorry. What? That was my watch. That's why. I got a new watch. I don't know how it works.
Oh man, I don't want one of these.
Sorry, guys.
I do not want a phone watch. That's I'm drawing the line there.
Yeah, you know what? Long story about why I had gotten rid of my phone watch. And why I bought a new one just yesterday.
Oh wow, just yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a whole point of it was to try to disconnect myself from the phone.
That's what I've always heard, and I go, I don't know about that.
But I apparently didn't disconnect that part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm going to admit something. When people do the whole, I can tell you're looking at your watch and checking your text messages thing.
Yeah.
I suppose that's slightly better than putting your phone in front of your face and doing it.
Right.
But I do not feel
listened to.
Yeah,
no, I don't like it either.
Yeah. And I feel like that easy accessibility of that makes it way more tantalizing to do. And there's this reliance we create that if we don't know the information trying to be shared with us, how important we must be to need to know it and know it right now.
Wow.
Remember when
I'm leaving this all in, by the way.
Yeah, good. Remember when you didn't know what anybody had to say to you till you got home and listened to the messages,
Yeah.
And that was high tech at the time.
Right. That was really cool.
That was
yeah. So a couple reasons to get the watch back on. One was I actually wanted to keep a better track of my steps than I was doing. But the other reason was without the watch, am even worse in returning text messages than with the watch.
Oh.
So I needed some kind of, I need to return that text message. I hate looking at text messages.
Yeah, I don't like text messages.
I mean, I have so many, then I'm in so many text message conversations. I'm just like,
I forget to get back to them. And then the other reason that I always try to plead with people to, if you're trying to say hi, if you're showing me a picture of a cool thing you saw, great, send me a text. That's fine. As long as it's not important and I don't need to stop and give it concentrated thought and give you a meaningful response. If that's what you're hoping for or needing, I prefer email because I don't have notifications on for email. I can go look at it when I mean to look at it and give it sustained thought and make sure I leave things unreplied to that need to be replied to. I know that's very me.
That is very you.
But man, when it's I do not prefer to engage with pastoral or work type discussion over text. I really don't. But I also realize some people that's the only way, and so I initiate it their direction, and then
right.
Yeah, what do you do? I don't know.
I'm somewhat similar, except I'm not an email person. I just am it's an emergency, call me.
Yeah.
If I am in something, I won't answer, but I'll call you right back afterwards. I will pick up the phone unless I'm at dinner.
Yeah.
And talk to you. So I would rather, but if you are going to have just an information conversation with me, then you're hey, I need to get this, or can we do that? Just text me, and if it's not that important, I'll get to it.
And I'm fine with hey, so
do you have a key to that church that I can borrow? Sure.
Great. Yeah. If it's a quick answer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But hey, how do you feel about this? Now I've got to
I don't,
and I'm gonna forget.
I have no feelings.
Yeah. And then the hard part is everybody's got their
Yeah.
communicating to a church. This could be a whole podcast.
Yeah.
Communicating to a church community where every single one of them has a different preference in how to communicate.
That's a problem. I will say that I have appreciated how Android and Apple have kind of merged, so you know when somebody's read and delivered and all that, and that you can put a heart or a thumbs up, because now works. I just can okay, I want you to know that I saw it, I love it, thumbs up.
Yeah,
I don't have to write anything here.
Yeah,
that's handy.
Even that whole the way communication works, right? Like we feel like we've communicated because in a group text, someone emphasizes a message. It's weird, man. It's weird.
All right, so I think we're spiraling down.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Andy's gonna have to go. We thank you for listening to this very meandering podcast, which I hope you enjoyed, because I enjoy talking to Andy, and that's why we do this podcast.
If you'd like to hear better content, you can always send us a topic.
Yeah.
faithoverbreakfast@gmail.com, or send us a text. I think we got one.
That we?
You should check.
Yeah, Corey's question.
I just remembered that. We got to come back to that.
That was a good one too.
It was a good one. So
let's tease. That one was going to 2 different churches.
Yeah, we got to do that one.
We will.
Let's do that next. Send us those, and then you'll get what you really want, people.
Yeah. Or if we totally space it, but
we'll get there.
We'll get there. We're gonna get there next time.
So thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Corey. You've been listening to Faith Over Breakfast with Pastor Eric Siepen and Pastor Andy Littleton. Please share us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you.